Hello and welcome to another one of Legion's Baldur's Gate 3 videos. Earlier this month, I released a video about 3 things that the original Baldur's Gate titles did better than Baldur's Gate 3. I was expecting a lot of feedback and well, you guys really delivered, and I greatly appreciate all the interaction, both good and bad. I hope everyone continues to speak up and tell us your opinions. There are no right or wrong positions, but it is fun to create the narrative. But now, it's time for 3 things that Baldur's Gate 3 did better than Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. The first thing we'll go over is the modern graphics and technology. Of course, we couldn't miss this obvious detail. But Baldur's Gate 3 features state-of-the-art graphics, providing a visually stunning and immersive experience that surpasses the 2D isometric graphics of its predecessors. The modern graphics in Baldur's Gate 3 allow for highly detailed and immersive environments. Players can explore intricately designed landscapes, cities, dungeons, and other locations that feel more realistic and visually appealing. This can enhance the sense of immersion in the game world. The improved graphics in Baldur's Gate 3 also enable players to create and customize their characters with greater detail and precision. Players can see more nuanced facial expressions, animations, and equipment details, which can help them connect with their characters on a deeper level. Modern graphics provide clear visual feedback during gameplay. Spell effects, combat animations, environmental cues, and other visual elements are more distinct and easier to interpret, which can improve gameplay clarity and help players make strategic decisions more effectively. This also allows for more dynamic and visually engaging combat sequences. Players can enjoy watching their characters perform intricate combat maneuvers, interact with the environment in creative ways, and engage in strategic battles with greater visual impact. Advanced visual effects such as dynamic lighting, particle effects, physics simulations, and more. These effects can make the game world feel more alive and dynamic, creating a richer and more engaging gameplay experience. Modern graphics can also facilitate the development of more intuitive and user-friendly interfaces. Players can access information, manage their inventory, navigate menus, and interact with the game world more efficiently due to clearer and more visually appealing UI elements. But I have been asking Larian to please let us rename our bags so inventory management is far less complicated. Do it, Larian. Do it. While Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 are beloved classics that have stood the test of time, the modern graphics in Baldur's Gate 3 offers a more visually stunning and immersive gameplay experience that can appeal to both longtime fans of the series and new players alike. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying a cinematic experience.
See? Tell you truth, Beefy! Trust me. Always. Always!
If you are enjoying the video, please don't hesitate to give it a like. And if you want to honor the channel with a free subscription, don't forget to hit that alert icon so that you'll know when we post a new video or go live. Comments are always appreciated. In my previous video, I discussed how real-time with pause was a better system for Baldur's Gate due to its pace and strategic gameplay. But now I'm going to play devil's advocate and discuss why turn-based combat is better for Baldur's Gate 3, and make an argument that it could have been possibly better for the entire series. Turn-based combat reduces the need for constant micromanagement of individual characters' actions in real time, allowing players to focus more on overall strategy and less on rapid-fire commands. The control scheme in turn-based combat is often simpler, as players can issue commands in a structured manner without needing to pause and unpause the game frequently. Turn-based combat allows players to carefully plan and execute their actions without the pressure of real-time decisions. Each turn provides an opportunity to think through strategies, making combat more tactical and deliberate. In turn-based systems, the outcome of each action is clearly defined and resolved before the next action, reducing confusion and allowing players to better understand the consequences of their choices, unlike real-time with pause, that carries over permanent decisions even if they were unintended. Turn-based mechanics are generally more straightforward for newcomers to RPGs, as players can take their time to understand the rules and mechanics without the stress of real-time combat. Players can see the results of their actions immediately, which helps in learning and mastering the game mechanics. It also makes it easier to track status effects, enemy positions, and other important information. And I would argue that this is a gateway that allows new players to discover the world of CRPGs, and that is a great thing. In addition, turn-based systems can implement more sophisticated AI behavior, as the game can process enemy tactics and responses during each turn, leading to more challenging and engaging encounters. Each turn provides a clear opportunity for the game to balance difficulty by adjusting enemy actions and tactics based on the player's performance. Players can control the pace of the game, taking their time to explore, strategize, and make decisions. This pacing can enhance immersion and reduce the stress associated with real-time combat. Turn-based combat allows for more seamless integration of narrative elements such as character dialogue and environmental storytelling. Although you could integrate multiplayer in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, anyone who tried often found the gameplay difficult to impossible to coordinate effectively. Turn-based mechanics facilitate cooperative multiplayer gameplay, as players can discuss and plan their moves together during each turn, fostering teamwork and collaboration. In multiplayer settings, synchronized turns ensure that all players are engaged and can contribute equally to the combat scenario. But the main reason why I'm saying that turn-based is the best system for Baldur's Gate 3 is that it adheres closely to the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rules, which are inherently turn-based. This faithful adaptation provides a more authentic D&D experience, attracting fans of the tabletop game. Turn-based gameplay ensures that mechanics such as initiative, movement, and actions per turn are implemented consistently, mirroring the tabletop experience. These aspects make the turn-based gameplay mechanics in Baldur's Gate 3 particularly appealing, providing a more thoughtful and accessible experience compared to real-time with pause system of earlier games. And although I still think that Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 did a better job of creating strategic combat, I don't agree that it enhanced the game's ability to portray a nostalgic tabletop experience.
You have good timing. Never been much of a fighter, so wrestling a bugbear would have gone poorly.
Expanded role-playing options. In Baldur's Gate 3, players have access to a wide range of races, classes, and subclasses from Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, allowing for highly personalized character creation. This diversity supports a wide variety of role-playing styles. Characters can have specific backgrounds and origins that influence their abilities, dialogue options, and interactions with the world, adding layers to role-playing which increases immersion. So I'm going to say something a bit controversial, but I do believe that Baldur's Gate 3 handled companion stories better overall than its predecessors. This is hard to comment about, as I still believe that characters like Laconia de Veer, Jaheira, and even Imoen have left an irreplaceable mark on these games. However, the amount of companions that you could incorporate in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were vast in comparison to Baldur's Gate 3, and that lent itself to a limitation in companion development for most of your traveling options. In contrast, the companions that you acquire in Baldur's Gate 3 are fewer and can have deep stories that give themselves depth and a reason to want to see their story pursued. Companions in Baldur's Gate 3 have detailed personalities and personal quests. Players can build relationships with them, which evolve based on the player's choices and actions. The dynamics between the player and companions can influence the game's narrative and outcomes, making the role-playing experience more nuanced and interconnected. Players of the original series will recognize some of these options for their own companions. However, most of the companions had quests that didn't take more than 5 to 20 minutes to complete. The world of Baldur's Gate 3 is extremely dynamic, which lends itself to a very immersive experience. The game world is highly interactive, with choices and actions that have consequences on the story and world state. The level of interactivity and consequence-driven narrative provides a more immersive and replayable experience. Baldur's Gate 3 features a highly interactive dialogue system with branching options that allow players to shape their story based on their choices. This system is more flexible and responsive compared to more linear dialogues of earlier games. Full voice acting for characters and cinematic presentation of dialogues add depth and immersion to conversations, making interactions more engaging and emotionally impactful. The game offers multiple branching storylines and endings based on player decisions. This makes each playthrough unique and emphasizes the importance of player agency. So through a combination of modern graphics, a strategic turn-based combat system that deeply integrates Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rules, and the expanded roleplay options are three things that Baldur's Gate 3 did better than Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. These enhancements collectively provide a rich, more immersive and versatile role-playing experience in Baldur's Gate 3 compared to its predecessors, making the game more engaging and rewarding for players who enjoy a deep role-playing element. Enhanced narrative and dialogue options, rich character customization, complex companion dynamics, and meaningful choices and consequences provide a more immersive and personalized role-playing experience. The interactive world, adaptive dialogue, and freedom of playstyle further elevate gameplay, making Baldur's Gate 3 a significant evolution in the series that appeals to both new and veteran players.
Our thoughts are as one, my friend.
Well, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. We're looking forward to reading all the comments and replying to them as well. Thank you very much.